Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the Thriving Lives podcast, our weekly Zoom call. Tonight, we are going to be discussing a couple of things. We're going to talk a little bit about comparison and how it can really hinder our mindset along any of our journeys, be that from a health perspective, from a body composition perspective, from a business or financial perspective, all that good stuff. And we are also going to be talking a little bit about affirmations, talking about the lift party coming up this Sunday is kind of the main topic in which we're going to be talking about, and a little bit of a introduction from the people that are on the call that are hopefully joining us on Sunday at the lift party as well. But before we dive into that, Renee, how's your last week been?
Good. Um, just trying to get my routines down still in this apartment, and I'm killing it on my step game lately. With walks, I have to go on at least one walk in the morning and then one walk in the evening, if not more than that. Um, so on average, my steps in the last year have been between like 5,000 and 7,000 steps. Um, and now I'm at 10,000 plus daily, which
Nice.
is awesome. In my calories, I'm burning like, I think I used to be at like, I don't know, 18 to 1900 a day,
Mhm.
um, like total.
Yeah.
And now I'm at 2,000 plus, like easily,
Nice.
just from incorporating more steps in, which is cool. Which I think is what's helped my cut progress these last couple weeks. Which that is finally going well. I feel like for a while there I was really nervous. But it's still chugging along well. Marcus told me not to take another in-body scan, and I did not listen yesterday.
Yeah,
Um,
since you brought you went again?
yeah, I did. I did yesterday morning, but I lost 3% body fat, so it's fine. The world is right again.
But even then, so guys, when it comes to those in-body scans, I know S2 supplement superstores have them, and then you find them at other places as well. Um, I'm not going to say that they're bad to do, but when you see those things on there and you see like, oh, since last month I've gained 5 pounds of muscle, it's not
Well,
accurate. It's
yeah.
it's 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 impossible to gain. I mean, even if you're on the best fucking extracurricular drugs in the world, you're not going to be gaining that kind of quality lean muscle in that short of amount of time. And also, our body fat percentages are generally not going to change super fast either. And there's a lot of other factors that go into those things. Thinking back to like, when we were in college and whatnot and doing different, um, you know, uh, anatomy and biomechanics, and I forgot the other classes that we kind of did. But what we kind of found with it is all those things are highly inaccurate. I mean, like a 3 to 5%, even more than that on some of those different tests that you can do to check body fat percentage and stuff like that. I think one of them, like one of the best tests that you can do, like costs a lot of money, and it's like a water dunk test. I don't even know what that all entails, but I know it's
Underwater weighing.
yeah. So there's things like that and that are more accurate, but like the handheld things. If you have a scale in your bathroom that has that stuff on it, like I mean, the best way to utilize any of that stuff is
But if
keep
you constantly using it
constantly
over
do it
time,
over. Yes, exactly. If you do it
like,
consistently over the
yes.
time, you can still see some things. But if you're using any of those methods, I mean, skin fold calipers and stuff like that, whatever method is that you're doing, you just want to be consistent in how you do it. Meaning, you should do it first thing in the morning. You should do it fasted. You should do that with, similar variables controlled. So you have somewhat of an accurate reading. If you go at 8 a.m. tomorrow, and then in 2 months from now, you go at 8 p.m., your numbers are going to be very different, right? Because your entire days, everything else has factored into that thing as well. So I'm not saying don't put any stock into it, but also like Renee did like last week, or whenever
Okay,
that
it was not last week. It was
whatever.
like 3 weeks ago, and it's a good thing I did it. However, I will say because of that, and because of how I felt in the mirror, I cut back on my calories, and with pulling back on my calories and increasing steps, I felt like I was looking better. And
Mhm.
so I was like, you know what, just for the hell of it, I'm in a good mindset.
Exactly.
If
Good,
I was not in a good mindset, I wouldn't have done it
good,
because then it would have catapulted me. But since I knew I was in a good mindset, I got on it and I felt good about it.
good.
But I don't only put also like my weight on that is different. Like
Mhm.
my weight on the scale the other day was like a certain number, whatever, like 128, but then on the in body it was like 131,
Mhm.
like 2 days later. So like it my scale at home does not match the in body scale. So
Yeah,
I only go off of what my scale at home says for my like
your
normal like
actual weight.
check-ins
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Um, but I think it's a tool that can be helpful because I am comparing it to how I used to be a year ago or a year and a half ago when I was at my lower body fat, if that makes sense.
It definitely does. It definitely does.
Um,
Like you said, if you're going to use that tool, number one, and kind of like I posted about in the group the other day, is like, when it comes to like weighing yourself, is make sure that going into it, especially if that's something that can be kind of triggering for you, make sure your expectations are in the right place with it, and make sure you're coming into the right mindset. So it sounds like you were in the right mindset before you did this most recent one. So even if it hadn't reported what you hoped it would, you weren't going to be like shattered from it because
no, because I was happy
you're
with what I was
feeling
seeing in the mirror.
exactly, yeah,
Had I not have been happy with what I was seeing in the mirror, then yes, I would have probably been upset. However, like I said, I go on it because I knew. And we're nearing the end of like what I said my original cut was going to be.
exactly, yeah.
But I am extending it. But
Regardless, looking good, feeling good, everything is going well. I'm happy you're getting your daily steps up as well. That's one of those I feel like undervalued things that people don't put a
so
lot of
undervalued.
stock into. Just getting, that TDEE up, total daily energy expenditure, which comes from obviously getting more steps and just being more active
Like
around.
the unintentional
Exactly.
exercise.
Exactly.
Which
So
when I'm
that
going on walks, it's
very
not
helpful.
like for me, it's for my dog, but I get a
Yeah.
walk at the same time.
Yeah. And also, I mean, if you're choosing to do the right things, I mean, walking is one of the most parasympathetic things that you can do as well. It's also a good time to reflect, be out in the sunlight, focus on deep breathing, kind of whatever it is you need to utilize that time for. Could be an audiobook, could be a podcast, could be music. Definitely use that time to benefit you and not put you in a more stress state. Sometimes on walks, I'll use those for like business calls as well. But other times, it might be, calling an old friend and catching up with them as well. Um, or in Renee's situation, just getting your dog some steps in. Actually, so I've been taking Boss on morning walks as well. And then this evening I had a call with a client, and I tried to get him to go on another one, and we got like 3 houses down, and he just like refused to go any further. And he's 110 pounds, so I wasn't just gonna yank him down the block. So I was like, all right, I'll take you back home and I'll go on my walk. But he's gotten to the point where he's like, I don't want to go on any more walks, Dad. Like that's all we do. Stop taking me on freaking walks. I just want to stay at home and chill. Which is probably indicator that he needs to do more of them. In
I
my
had Knox at the vet a couple weeks ago and he had gained weight and they were like, he needs to lose weight. And we had to go back to the vet last week. He lost 3 pounds. I was like, oh yeah,
nice.
this cut's working too.
See what when Boss got up to around this time last year to what was he like 118 pounds? Our vet was like, all right, he's too heavy. We need to put him on a diet. You need to come back from 5 cups a day to like 3.5 cups a day.
You're
And so,
giving him 5 cups a day.
yeah, he's a big boy. But so we did that. And well, his dad was like 135 pounds. Mom was like 120. So I was like, it's fine if he gets up close to that. But so anyway, though, but they also weren't fixed and he's fixed. But yeah, so they had us like cut back on his food a little bit. And then by freaking last fall, I hadn't ever rechecked his weight and he was seeming healthy and whatnot. He was down to like 93 pounds. Like that dude had like shredded like 20 pounds. I didn't even know it. And so then we've got him probably back up around, he's probably more like 100, 105 right now. So it's a pretty healthy weight for him. Anyway, enough on our dog's weights. Let's get into kind of what we're talking about, though. We don't need to discuss my week. It's been pretty solid. But let's kind of dive on into it. So first and foremost, one of the things that Renee and I were talking about earlier was comparison and how that can be our biggest detriment. Some of our biggest hurdles is comparing ourselves to others. Now let's just keep it simple and keep that from a health perspective, from a body composition perspective, stuff of that nature. um Social media in particular, because that's where it's definitely paramount, and probably where people struggle the most at. And first off, it's important to recognize, and we're all guilty of this. I mean, every single one of us. If we take a picture, we're not just taking 20 pictures, or no, we're not just taking one picture like you used to on just like little film camera. You can take as many as you need to, like on your phones now. And obviously, we're all going to post the one of our best smile, of our best lighting, of our best angle, whatever the case is. And that's obviously what everybody's doing on social media. We're posting all the most positive things generally as well with it. But even though we all, from a logical perspective, understand that, we still get caught up in ourselves, in our own heads of comparing our physique to other people's or journey to other people's, how fast somebody lost weight or how fast they gain muscle, whatever the case is. And that's just wasted energy, and Renee and I do that as well. I mean, from like a coaching perspective, I mean, there's other coaches I follow that are big time coaches that are all around or whatever the case is, or coaches kind of similar, coaches to what we do as well. And it's very easy to get caught up like, am I doing the right things or could I be doing better? Or what are they doing that I'm not doing? And kind of beating yourself up. And yeah, there's always room to improve a little bit, but you just got to keep those your mindset in the right spot, in a healthy spot of like, what are the good takeaways that you can take away from that, but also not beating yourself up for whatever, because again, everybody's posting their most, their highlights and things of that nature. Renee, you want to add on to that? I know you had some good thoughts.
Yeah. I think it's good to understand and realize too. Like I think everyone compares. Like it's a common thing. Um, I mean, I love my body. I'm happy with it where I'm at and with what I'm doing. But does that mean I still don't see other people's bodies and I'm like, oh, I want their quads or I want their abs or things like that. Um, Whereas at that point too, you also have to take a step back and realize, okay, well, there are people on social media that also want my body. And so you can't just sit there and constantly like want one step up. Like you have to stop and realize like what's attainable, where are you at, what do you what are you going to do to then get that body? And is it a healthy motivation or is it dragging you down? And a lot of the times, like if I'm seeing other coaches or other just like influencers in general, you have to stop and think like, okay, well, you don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know how much they're eating. You don't know how much truth they're actually speaking on social media. Um, or maybe that's honestly genes play a big role in it too. Like some people just have better genetics than others. And the other thing too is some people want different bodies. Like some people want to be the absolute smallest weight they can be, and they don't care what that takes to get there. And some people want to have more weight on them to have more muscle. And so I just think you can only compare yourself to what beauty standards you find and what health standards you think are attainable. Does that kind of make sense? I'm trying
Well,
to get out.
and yeah, it does. And I mean, really, the what it really boils down to is just compare yourself to where you were yesterday, where you were a year
Correct.
ago, your own journey. And I mean, you can admire
But
what
even at
you want to admire, but it's your own journey that really matters. It's your comparison against
yeah,
yourself that truly matters. And if you feel like over the last year you've made no progress forward, then okay, you're using the right standard to go off of. You're looking at yourself and your journey and your life and understanding that as well. And if your efforts weren't there the last year, maybe they were, but maybe we're doing the wrong things, whatever the case is, then obviously then you know that you need to take steps forward. Another thing as well when it comes to social media side of things is Photoshop
yeah.
is highly, highly prevalent, especially in the bigger influencers and stuff like that. If you guys are on Instagram, there's a dude called Goob something, and he like GOOB, something else with it. But so he's great at like finding that, especially in big influencers or coaches and things like that, and that will shine that spotlight on them and call those people out and like show the side by sides. And it's crazy how many people do it and what they, the lengths they go to do that type of stuff just to Photoshop and make whatever look bigger or smaller, whatever the case is. And then also now we're in the age of, AI, generated pictures and adjustments and shit like that. And you've got these pictures that sometimes you can't even tell that they're AI generated. Like they're so well done with it. And I feel like, AI is on the forefront of its use. I mean, on the very beginning stages of its use. And I feel like that's going to be the trends that you see, especially when it comes to health, fitness, and shit of that nature, are just really cultivating an even more unhealthy view of, what bodies actually look like versus what they don't look like, or whatever the case is. So just
But I
keep
think
all that in perspective.
to also reiterate the fact of comparing yourself to your past self, you can't be in your mid 20s or your mid-30s and compare yourself to what you look like in high school. That's not even comparable. You can't look at it
Yeah, that's true.
and think, oh, I want that body back, because it's just not attainable. And that's literally just life and biology and hormones and things like that. And like I'll compare myself, not I'm actually really good about not comparing myself, but I'll see myself when I was like fresh out of my breakup, working out so much, beyond depressed. I'm like, yeah, I had like no body fat, but
Mhm.
I also wasn't mentally,
You weren't happy either.
I wasn't, not even,
You weren't happy. You weren't
no, no,
better.
I wasn't happy at all.
No,
But
that's
like it wasn't a healthy, it's not that I wasn't starving myself by any means.
yeah.
However, it's just my body was very stressed out at that time. And so I think you can only compare yourself to your past self to a certain extent as well.
Yeah.
So I think the better thing is to think like, okay, are you progressing towards your goals? And is that comparison healthy? And at the end of the day, like just recognizing that you're doing it and then pulling yourself out of it, I think is the better thing to do.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah.
Yeah. So definitely be mindful of all those things. Be mindful of your expectations of yourself, and again, just the conversations you have with yourself. The internal dialogue as you're scrolling social media or whatever the case is. Another thing as well, like comparison wise, that I always see, and I deal with this myself as well, is like people that used to be crushing it. Again, maybe their early 20s, they were in the gym all the time and they were hitting these crazy weights or whatever the case was, and you just felt crazy strong. But then you've been on the gym for the last decade and you're getting back into it, and you're expecting yourself to be able to lift those same weights that you left off with 10 years ago when you were in the gym 4 or 5 days a week consistently for years. Like, again, managing your expectations is massive in all of this, because if you're coming into things with these crazy unrealistic expectations of yourself, then you're just setting yourself up for failure, because you're going to be disheartened because you're not anywhere close to what your expectations were set at. And so I'm not saying you shouldn't shoot high, but if you're just getting started with doing something or whatever the case is, manage those a little bit, right? Set the bar high, but not so high that it's not going to happen right off the bat with it. So definitely keep that stuff in mind. But second thing we want to talk about real quick is affirmation. So I've kind of talked about this with the gratitude journal, 5 minute journal. And you list, I don't need to go super in depth into it, but I'm grateful for 3 things. What will make today great? 3 things. And the daily affirmations, I am. I kind of, played off that anytime I've really talked about it in terms of like, I don't really like the affirmations part because I felt cheesy saying like, I am, generic words like I am smart or whatever the case is. That's what I thought that was supposed to be. I don't know why I had that thought pattern with it. So the past couple of weeks, as I've been filling that out though, I've been thinking of it more of like, what do you guys need to say to yourself? What do people struggle with? I feel like, people joining Thriving Lives, not across the board, but some people struggle because they feel like they're not a healthy person. They are not somebody who exercises or that likes exercise. They're not somebody who likes to cook or likes to go to bed on time or whatever the case is. But that's the person you want to become. And so start verbalizing that out. And I don't know why I never really put much thought or emphasis on those affirmation side of things, but I feel like that is kind of something that a lot of people are missing. Again, kind of coming back to what I just mentioned earlier about that internal dialogue, the conversations you have with yourself, how you speak about yourself to yourself, is very, very powerful. If you're constantly saying, um, I don't like working out. I'm not somebody who goes to the gym or that enjoys it. If you continue to tell yourself that, I mean, first off, that's a very real thing. At this point in your life, you might not like exercise. But the more you say that to yourself, the more you're just solidifying that into your brain and into your life, that working out's never going to be a part of what it is that you're going to do. And so instead of saying that stuff, in these daily affirmations, if that's what you're working on is becoming a more active individual, then that's what your affirmations need to be. I am somebody who exercises daily. I'm somebody who goes on daily walks. I'm somebody that, for myself, does yoga daily, right? Because in order to say that about myself, I also have to go and do it as well. So it's twofold. The actions need to follow it, but also that that dialogue that you're having with yourself, what you say about yourself to yourself, truly does matter. Honestly, very greatly, way more than what I ever really gave it. At least in terms of this little book right here, I've always kind of known that, but in terms of the actual writing that stuff down, I think it's way more powerful than what I ever gave it credit for. So that's affirmations. Any thoughts on that to add, Renee, or anybody else? If you want to share any thoughts about it.
It just goes along with the what I always say, you are what you repeat.
Yes.
So I think that's just the simple as that. You are what you repeat, you gotta do it.
Yep, definitely. Now real quick, we'll kind of talk about the lift party. So I don't know what everybody, thought about the lift party. We did this a couple years ago as well before Renee was here. Trying to think. I don't think anybody on the call right now was at the first lift party. But so what I wanted to communicate is that, because I feel like some people might be kind of scared off on the idea of the lift party. It's not a community workout in terms of we're going to have 20 people show up and we're all going to do the same workout like a boot camp style class. Like, it's nothing of that nature. What it is it's an open gym. You have access to come in anywhere between 11 and 1 o'clock. And hey, if you come in at 12:45 and you're going to stay and do your workout, that's totally fine. I got to roll out at 1 o'clock because I got to get to my buddy's daughter is getting baptized. I'm actually the godfather of it, though I'm not Catholic, so I'm looking forward to all that good stuff. But so anyway, so I got to leave at right at 1 o'clock. But otherwise, like I said, come between 11 and 1. The whole goal of this is ideally you guys are planning to come and get an actual workout in that day, whether it is your workout that Renee and I created for you, or it's just you're going to come and just try out different machines. And hey, maybe I'm just going to do legs that day, and you're going to try out. I mean, Body Shop has a great assortment of training equipment in general, a great leg day selection as well. They also got a couple new pieces in there at the location we're going to be doing at in Overland Park. There's also Lee Summit one that maybe we do one of those there eventually, but this one's in Overland Park, like I said. But yeah, so like I said, when you guys come, ideally you're coming to get an actual workout in. If you're just coming in to pop in and say hey, then that's also fine. But otherwise, though, come and plan to get that workout in. If you have certain movements, exercises that you need guidance on, you need feedback on, maybe things you've never done before and you really want to try it out. There's a good hip thrust, plate loaded hip thrust machine for your glutes that maybe your gym doesn't have and you would like to try that out as well. It's kind of a confusing looking thing if you've never done it before. So again, like Renee and I there to help you out with that stuff. But like I said, it's a time for you to come and get a good workout in, try out a different gym, meet us in person, obviously, but get feedback on what you're doing, right? Might even
I
just be
think the feedback
on
on what you're doing is huge as far as like we can kind of analyze you if you'd like, as far as like, are you working out intentionally? 'Cause there's a huge
yes,
difference
your
between
your intensity with it.
going through the motions versus doing the movements correctly at the correct weight, at the correct form, and things like that. And so, especially like my clients that show up, I definitely will ask them first if I can, like, analyze them. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to do it regardless. If I see somebody's form is messed up, I'm definitely throwing it out there at them and their intensity with it. But yeah, I mean, if you're just coming just to play around with it and just have a fun workout, then yeah, maybe you're not in there to grow muscle that day. But yeah, no. So I mean, use us while we're there, for those 2 hours, right? If you have other questions, maybe you need help with tracking your macros, right? And we're there in person and can actually walk you through it. That's fantastic. And then obviously there's going to be other people there from Thriving Lives that, hey, just new connections for you, maybe a new lifting partner, who knows? But again, this is primarily so you guys can come meet us in person and like I said, get feedback on your workouts, your intensity, your form, your execution, learn new movements, all that good stuff. So we're not really gonna have anything planned for it other than we are there to help you guys out, meet you guys in person and get you rolling with it. But yeah, so that's pretty much what we got for you guys. So we got 5 people on the call right now. If you guys want to first off, do you have any questions about the lift party, about affirmations, about issues comparing yourself to others on your journey with it? Anything you guys want to add to any of that? And while you're at it, if you have anything to add as well, then we would love to hear about you, what you do, where you're from, and what you're doing. If you don't want to share, you don't have to share. That was kind of the goal of this one, though.
I will, I guess, start us out.
Thank you, Lauren.
Go for it,
Yes.
Lauren.
My name is Lauren. Just to go back to the whole comparison thing. I think when I first joined Thriving Lives Fitness, it was easy to look at what Renee was posting with her
I don't really
clients.
know.
Oh, look at this person.
sure.
Sorry, Lauren, you're good. Keep going.
Like look at this person. They've already lost like 10 pounds. Like that'll be me in like a month. And then it wasn't me. And I was like, oh no, like what am I doing? I'm not doing well at this. Just remember that like every body's different, every journey's different,
Mhm.
and progress looks different for everybody. I've had
And
to keep
Lauren,
reminding
look,
myself
you
of
got
that.
your picture posted too. It was you.
I know, I made it.
You
Ma, look
made
at
it.
me. I made it on the big screen.
That's very
Um,
real, Lauren. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. About me, 27. I live out in Belton right now, but I just bought a house with my fiance. We're getting ready to move to Lewisburg. I know it seems really
Okay.
far,
Congrats. I
but
have
it's
friends out
not
in Lewisburg.
actually.
Lewisburg is pretty. That's a good spot to move.
Yeah, thank you. Excited
Cool.
about that.
Congrats.
Um,
Did you get any land or
uh,
did you, you're in a neighborhood?
we're in a neighborhood. He would love some land. It's just so expensive right now. We got a really good deal on our house.
Nice.
Definitely would not get that around Overland Park, which is where
No.
I wanted to move back to, but I think it'll be a good
Lewisburg's not
change.
that bad. It's not too far. It's just south on 69.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the same distance from my work now, so I'm like, that's
sweet.
perfect.
Well, congrats on the new house. When do you move?
Thank you. We move in the middle of June.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
that's soon.
Coming up.
It's
Yeah.
very soon. Yes.
That's
Lots
exciting.
of things happening.
And
Will
then you're
will you
getting
be
married
there?
in October.
Ooh, married in
Yes.
October. It's a big year for you.
It's a big year. My wallet's kind of crying right now, but it's fine.
It's a big year. It's a big expensive year as well. Yeah, you're right. But that's exciting though. All fun things. We got married and bought a house within like a 2 month span. So I know the
Oh,
financial
goodness.
burden of that. Yeah, it was and got like a dog right before that as well. And that was
Oh,
during
gosh.
COVID. And it was during COVID. So it was a wild time. But no, yeah, at least you get to miss out on the COVID wedding and shit like that.
True. Very true. Maybe be less expensive that way,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, definitely. Well, congrats on all those big wins. Are you going to be there at the lift party on Sunday?
I'm going to try to. My brother's birthday is on Monday, so I don't
Bring
know if
him.
my mom's trying to plan. No, he will not be there. But my mom's trying to plan something, I think. So to be determined, my first priority would be obviously to come because I don't have any plans with them yet. So we'll see.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we hope to see you there, but if not, totally understand. Thanks for being on the Zoom call, obviously, and sharing about yourself. And
Yeah, thank
congrats on
you.
it. Of course. Of course, of course. Anybody else have the courage they want to go? We had a few people join here just a few seconds ago. We're sharing, why we're here in Thriving Lives, your name, what you do, all that good stuff, where you're from. Kaylee, I see you unmuted
I can
yourself.
share.
Go for it.
Okay, so my service is a little bad, so sorry if I'm cutting in and out. Just one part that I really connected to, like when you guys were talking, just like comparing yourself to like even former versions of yourself is also really hard. Like where you lifted a few years ago, maybe you had some more skills a few years ago, and then when you kind of take a break and come back, sometimes it's hard to not compare yourself to where you used to be, especially when you know that you can get there. And so just, being patient, trusting the journey and staying consistent, I think is like a good reminder to remind yourself of every day, especially when you are kind of getting in that comparison mindset.
Yeah.
So that was nice to hear. But yeah, gonna be in Colorado soon. Currently in Texas. We're moving actually next Thursday, so I will not be attending the lift party, unfortunately.
No worries. No worries on that. I didn't expect to be there at the lift party either, but I am very excited for your move to back to Colorado.
Yes. Can't wait for all the hikes
and you're moving to Golden, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Nice, pretty.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting though. Congrats on
Yeah.
that move. Like I said, I know we've been talking about it quite a bit about you moving out there with it, but that's super exciting with it. And Kayla and I used to work
Yeah.
as she was our music teacher when I was a PE teacher at Schumacher, which actually, Kaylee, I'm going to the field day tomorrow and helping kind of run that a little bit with the new PE.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm
Oh,
looking
that's
forward to
fun.
that. I'm looking forward to it. It'll just make me sad by the end.
Yeah.
Of it. I'll be there
Awesome.
for that, and then I'm going back on Wednesday.
Right.
I'm going back on Wednesday next week for
Yeah.
the last day of school to do like their watch their fifth grade walkout. I'll definitely cry during that because
Oh,
all those fifth graders are the ones that were kindergartners when I
right.
started there. But yeah, that's cool. Well, good luck with
Oh,
your move, and thanks for obviously
yeah.
being on the call and sharing that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, that self comparison,
Yeah.
man. Can be a killer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else want to share? Joyce, you're unmuted.
Yeah. It was funny before I joined Thriving Lives. I was trying to do the whole weight loss thing on my own and made a little bit of progress over probably about 11 months before you and I kind of got together and started talking about things. And just kind of once I had, the meal plan, and we kind of started talking about, week to week, what to do, the check-ins. It's been a huge game changer for me and has just absolutely been awesome. Just a little bit about me. I'm up here in the Northland, just south of the airport. I have a little apartment up here. Yeah, I've been working up in Plot City at a little law firm for the past year and a half, man. And yeah, it's been real good.
What kind of law do you specialize in, Joe? I know what it is, but share
It's
share with everybody else.
it's probate and estate planning for the most part.
There you go. And I think you can also help people out with speeding tickets too, right?
Yeah, so we've done a few speeding tickets.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the most common one that I know that like I'm gonna need you for, but I mean we all are gonna need some sort of estate planning and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't think Joe can necessarily shout out his own stuff, but he's an awesome attorney, awesome lawyer, very helpful. And plus you used to work in Casey Mo as you're a prosecutor or defense?
Prosecutor, yeah. So and I think that was also part of the weight gain. So I was dealing with like homicides, robberies, and like assaults for the most part, and that's kind of that wears on you after a little while. And it's like after you leave from there and go into private practice, it's a little bit of a weight drop, but there was obviously some things I wanted to still do. So this has been a huge help, and I will be at the lift party on Sunday. And Marcus, I was already telling you earlier, I'm super excited about it.
Good. I'm excited to get you there. I know that you primarily do 9 rounds. I was drawing a blank there. So yeah, it'll be good to get you there in a different gym setting. Like I said, lots of fun toys and equipment and things of that nature. So like I said, plan whatever it is you're going to be hitting that day. Like I think you're going to do a full body. So yeah, mix it up, man. Try all the different movements. Like I said, some of that stuff is fairly unique. So I'm obviously there to give guidance on how to actually use the equipment. But yeah, man, thanks for being a part of Thriving Lives. Been killing it this last year. Or shit, not even a year. It's been like 6 months.
I know it's flying by, man.
I know. Well, when I post your progress pictures, it looks like 2 years of work, and it's only been 6 months. Definitely kicking ass. Love to see it. Anybody else? Oh, actually, real quick, Melissa said, my biggest gain from this experience is telling myself I'm doing this the right way and changing my lifestyle. And I'm surprised. I've surprised myself with some of the meals that she was worried about, not liking, and ended up actually being her favorite and craving them. So, that's a testament to stepping out of our comfort zone, trying new things. Trial and error is really the name of the game with everything that we're doing here, right? And there's going to be ebb and flow with it. And what works for you this month or this year might need to be, changed and look different next month or next year, whatever the case is. It's just a matter of keeping our priorities in check and then, fitting in the missing pieces as we find them. Anybody else though have anything that you guys want to?
I will share since this is the first call that I'm joining, and of course you guys are doing intros.
Of
I
course.
really only came because I thought
Hi.
Lola was going to be on the call.
I don't
this
have
is
them on
a
the call. Cole's
setup.
home by now.
Fair enough.
Just being distracted.
Fine, I'll take it. Well, I'm Star. I am a cybersecurity engineer. I work primarily remote for a national lab based out of Seattle, so I travel often, but I am in Kansas City. So the comparison thing, I don't know that I struggle with it as much with other people, but I struggle with it. I forgot who mentioned this earlier in their intro, but I do look at older pictures of myself because obviously bodybuilding. So there's some body dysmorphia there.
Yeah, I was gonna say Star's been a competitor like myself for probably about the same amount of time, right? When was your first competition?
Yeah, I think we started around the same time. My first show was 2015, 2016.
Nice.
Yeah, and when I started bodybuilding, that's sort of how I got in shape. I didn't really do fitness first.
You want
I
you
kind of,
go on in. You just said,
yeah, I
if
just
I'm
went
gonna do
all
this, I'm gonna do
in.
this.
I was like, if I'm going to be consistent, I need like something to work towards.
I need a
And I
stage
honestly,
to scare me into doing it right.
yeah, right. I need to know, like, okay, you can either get on stage and look like crap, or like, no, you gave it your best. And
Yeah.
so at the time, though, I learned a lot and learned discipline, but I did also take some cons with me just being a woman in bodybuilding. And maybe men go through this too. I don't know, but
You do. I can attest to that. We definitely do. But I think just the environment in general is just hard on females. And
yeah.
male bodies just bounce back from that kind of stress on the body a little bit more
Hmm.
than what the females does.
And I think you and I've been working with you for almost 2 years, but consistently a year now.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
our 1 year fitness anniversary together where I actually stuck with it.
Oh, yeah.
um, but yeah, I think that's been the biggest struggle for me now is also not, which you made a post in the group chat about the scale, and the
Mhm.
scale impacts me so much, but it's like when I'm doing good and my body's responding well, I'm excited and I tell myself that, like, oh, I'm done comparing and looking at the photos. I feel great. I'm not impacted. And then I see just a little bit of the weight go up and it takes me back to bodybuilding days where I'm
Yep.
like,
Yep.
why am I up 2 pounds? Like, what
Yeah.
did I do? And I mean, life happens and we just moved back to the Northland area. So we're not in Gardner anymore. And
Oh, you're
that,
not? You moved?
yeah, well, Marcus mostly moved. I was on travel, but I'm trying to help now and be the better partner with him. So I won't make it to the lift because I do still have some. He has weekend drill, and I'm trying to play catch up with unpacking all my stuff and
Nice.
yeah, taking it easy.
So are you gonna be? Yeah, I assume you're done going to body shop then, right?
Yeah, we have the membership till September, which is fair, but we
Yeah.
just joined OGKC because it's like 10 minutes from our
Okay, cool.
house.
Cool. Well,
Um,
if you guys are Northlanders, anybody else that's listening to this on the live right now or later on, up in the Northland, there are two gyms I would definitely recommend. OGKC is probably number one of them, and then Flex Fitness as well.
mhm.
Also, kind of depending on what kind of environment you're looking for as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
I feel like OG.
Flex is true and true bodybuilders.
Yes, yes. Yeah, Flex is definitely a lot of bodybuilders. So if you want to be like in really disciplined, like more of a hardcore lifter setting, that's definitely the spot. OGKC, I feel like is a better hybrid, and just a lot
Mhm,
of variety there as well. And then obviously
mhm.
you got your Planet Fitnesses and your Genesis that have their perks as well. But sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
No, no, that was kind of it.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think the biggest goal for me is just whenever I have my pouty moments and I message you, like I always message you instantly about the weight. Like I know we're doing check-ins tomorrow, but I'm like, oh, this scale is up. I gotta tell him.
I gotta let them
But
know.
then I think that's like, okay, good. So it's not just me. I'm like, God, I hope I'm not the high maintenance client.
No,
Um,
no. If you were,
but
I'd charge you more.
yeah, you'd be comfortable. We've
Raise the
known
rate.
each other long enough where you could be real with me and be like, okay, Star, look, we got to talk. Which I think we had
Nice.
a few of those talks where you don't let me go too far in my like vanity space of, I try to remind myself that health and wealth is the goal, and it's not just about how you look, but like also about how you look. But I'm working on that.
Yeah.
For me, it's right now, it's just doing a hybrid of activity. Like I know Renee's teaching like Pilates, and I love Pilates, and I've been trying to find a balance of where it's weightlifting and restricted dieting is not the solution for me. Like weightlifting's supportive, but I don't know that my body's responding to it as well of doing that consistently every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my goal and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, really just striving for more balance. And that's one of the
Hmm.
hard things about being a former competitor, is it's hard to reel things back a little bit.
Tone it down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
everything
hard.
is
It's
like I
harder.
kind of go hard.
Yeah, it's hard to reel it back without swinging so far in the opposite direction. But yeah, no, you're killing it, Star.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Thanks for sharing as well. Eric, you're unmuted. I'm calling you out. What's up?
Oh man. I
You
mean,
gonna, you gonna be on the lift party on Sunday?
hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm planning to go on Sunday. So I think I'm kind of 1 month into the program.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of a slower start than I would have wanted, but trying to just go, follow the plan.
Mhm.
Um, little bit about me. I'm from the East Coast, like Washington D.C. area. I'm currently in Lee Summit. I work from home. I work in corporate finance, and yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Yeah, and so you're from DC, right? Like you were born
Correct.
and raised there, and then you moved here just recently, right? Just a couple months ago.
Yeah, yeah, not too long ago. Correct. Yeah, my girlfriend moved out here for work, so just kind of,
That's right. That's what brought you out here, and you work remote, like you said, so you can kind of work from anywhere.
Yep, yep,
There you go.
yep.
And
That's
you
right.
guys chose middle of the U.S., right? Just Kansas City.
Yeah, so she kind of went to school around here
Yeah.
and has family kind of in Nebraska, so it's easier for her, but it's far for me and my peoples.
Yeah, yeah. Understandable with it. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, man, at the lift party on Sunday. I'm
Yep.
excited you're gonna make it, man.
No, thank you. Likewise, I really appreciate your help and support.
Of course, of course. What are you working out that day? Do you know yet?
No, not yet. I'll probably push one forward that I missed this week, so I'll do
All right.
one of those.
All right, there you go. There you go. Well, I'll see you there. I'm there to help you if you need it, man.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, dude.
Yep.
All right. Who else we got on here? Who else wants to share? We got, oh, it's just you, Hannah. Give it to us.
Yeah, yeah, I was like, I hopped on late, but I'll share. So I'm Hannah and my husband is Joe. We joined together. Really, I think the big reason that I joined is I'm freshly postpartum, so I have a 6-month-old. And then my husband joined because he is trying to become a firefighter and EMS, or I guess EMT. So just wanted to get in a little bit of better shape for that. We actually used to work out at Body Shop like in 2021, I think,
Yeah.
which is kind of how we found Marcus. But yeah, just trying to become better versions of us for our little boy. And yeah, that's really, I don't have a lot, but I think we are going to try
Yeah,
to come to the lift party. We'll
sweet.
have our son with us, so it'll be interesting. But we go to the lake a lot during the summer. My grandma has a house down there, so we'll be on the way home from the lake. But we're going to try to make it. We're going to try to
Wow.
leave early.
That is exhausting. That's a hell of a day driving back to the lake.
Yeah.
That's a workout in itself. Well,
It's only like 2.5 hours. It's at the Lake of the Ozarks, so it's not too bad. It's
well,
like
I
two
know,
and a
but
half
the lake
hours.
is exhausting. That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah,
I would need
yeah.
at least a couple days off from the gym.
Yeah, we're gonna put the boat on the water this weekend. We bought a boat this year, so we're gonna clean it up and put it on the water this weekend, and
Oh, yeah.
hopefully have some fun. So
That's exciting. Well, good
yeah,
luck with that. Hopefully it all goes well.
thanks.
Hopefully we see you at the lift party. At least you are familiar with Body Shop if you guys do happen to make it. And yeah, bring
Yeah,
the little one. Let's see how it goes. I know Lola does a pretty good job at the gym. She's obviously been really used to it, so she's used to like all the banging weights and stuff and can sleep through anything now. So hopefully the little one enjoys it as well. But yeah, like I said, hope to see you guys at the gym.
yeah.
And Sunday at Body Shop is pretty low key anyway, especially the time that we're kind of doing it. So it shouldn't be too crazy busy outside of us TLFers. But yeah, Hannah, Joe, excited that you guys joined the fun and excited to see you guys on Sunday.
Thanks. We're excited.
Good. Well, thanks for sharing, Hannah. All right, y'all. Well, that wraps up everybody that's on the call tonight. Like I said, we're looking forward to seeing the ones that can make it on Sunday, which is most of us here, except for who is it? Star said you weren't going to make it because you're out unpacking, and Kaylee doesn't want to come back from Texas/Colorado, which I think that's annoying, but whatever. Anyway, good call tonight. Talked a lot about comparison. Take some of those thoughts home with you, and then affirmations and lift party and whatnot. So anyway, guys, tomorrow is check-in day. Looking forward to seeing everybody's check-ins. I feel like this time of year is always I don't know, it's a weird time. It's like we've come off the kind of New Year's resolutions and some people kind of lost some steam, but with the weather picking up and nicer outside, I mean, I guess that in Kansas City at least it's been gloomy and rainy the past couple of weeks, but summer's going to be here soon. Like we're going to get past the next couple of weeks. Rain's going to clear up. It's going to be hot as shit. Sun's going to be out all the time until 9 o'clock. So, and that's when people really kick it into gear. So right now, make sure if you're not already doing it, build up momentum, keep checking in and communicating. We all know that's super important. And yeah, we'll get rolling. Very excited to see you guys on Sunday. Like I said, whenever you guys first get there, I will have paper waivers. So make sure whenever you guys first come in, I should have that right there on the front desk. Just sign one real quick, put it in the done pile, and then go on with your workout and let us know if you guys need anything. But otherwise, see you guys on check-in day and see you guys on Sunday.
See ya.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.